Oh baby, we're back again. Last time I did a tier list on weight cutting foods, and today we're doing bulking, so the other way. And the main point I made last time is there are no foods that are going to cause you to gain weight or lose weight, but there are things that are going to be easy to overeat on, and that's going to lead to you gaining weight, which in this case we want. So high calorie density is what we're after. I'm not too fussed here about micronutrients and protein content because when you're eating so much, you're probably going to hit the mark anyway. So to get into that S tier, ideally it's easy to eat a lot of, it's pretty high calorie and it doesn't cost too much because if you're bulking up on expensive foods, that's going to be tough on the wallet. So let's get into it. First up, avocado. Although fats are higher in calories than carbs, avocado isn't, like, it's mostly fats, but it's not crazy high calorie. If you get them in season, they're not too expensive. I'd say it's kind of right in the middle. Now, white rice, I put it a bit lower down in the cutting tier list, but it's really cheap, and because there's not as much fiber as whole grain, it's easy to eat more of, so I'm thinking that's straight into A tier. Chicken breast, it's a similar story. It's not crazy high calorie, it's mostly protein, not too much fat. You know, those fats can give us a bit of extra calories. We don't want too much saturated though, what we get from meats, but most people want a little bit of meat in their meals, and I'd say chicken's not a bad choice. Beef, I would say, is one step above. Some people have, I don't know, bison or whatever, but you know, it's got more micronutrients, which we're not too worried about, but it's also high calorie, and I find it's actually a bit easier to eat a lot of, and it's easier to meal prep, especially if it's mince. You just chuck it in there. You don't have to worry about cutting it all up with chicken, so it's just easier. Chickpeas, I would say they do have fiber, which you could say fills you up, but I find them to not be crazy filling, and they're just kind of a nice balanced food. They got just a bit of everything, and it's not too hard to fit them in any meal or eat a lot of them, so I'm going to put them in A tier. They're also dirt cheap, so get on that. Almonds and nuts in general. I mean, A tier is getting a bit crowded here, but I'm gonna have to do it again. If you get almonds or peanuts, they're really cheap. If you get a big bag, they're reasonably healthy for you. You got those unsaturated fats, high calorie. I'm gonna put them in A and not S though, because they are hard to eat a lot of. It's a lot of chewing. It can get a little bit bland sometimes, which is why peanut butter is going straight into S tier. Because if you get if you want to be a little bit disgusting, you can actually spoon it in your mouth and swallow it with water. If you're desperate, but it's if you don't really care, you can just buy a cheap brand and really shovel that stuff down, or just put it with, you know, whatever you want in a shake or on some bread. I don't care. It's good. Olive oil, even better. I'm not ordering these, but I'd put that straight into S tier. You can put it with everything. You can cook with it. You can add it after. Per calorie, it is so cheap. Like, you might look at the price and you're like, oh, what, $13 for that? But if you go like calories divided by dollars, it is so cheap. So versatile as well. Now, this is a tricky one with vegetables because you need micronutrients from somewhere, right? But if you're bulking, as I said, it's easy to get them because you're eating so much, so it makes vegetables a little less important, and they're very low calorie. They're usually high in fiber, especially these, I think they're cruciferous ones like broccoli, cauliflower. Yeah. I would say leafy greens is a step above. Usually they're lower in fiber and higher in micronutrients, so if you're worried about that, I would choose these over something like broccoli. So there's your way to go. I would put these C or D. I think if you're putting in your vegetables and you want the micronutrients, but you don't want them to fill you up too much to leave room for other things, I would say these are the way to go, so I'll put them right in the middle. Oats. Similar story to chickpeas, dirt cheap, pretty good, pretty well balanced, and easy to, you know, you can throw in a bowl of oatmeal wherever you want. You can throw in some fruit in there, some peanut butter, there you go. It's versatile. You can easily make some like crazy high calorie bowls with it, so I'll put it there. Protein powder. Now, I'm not too sold here because you don't need crazy high protein. You don't need to go out of your way to get it, because if you're eating a lot, you're gonna get that anyway. It's like if you're working minimum wage but you're working 100 hours a week, it's still a lot of money, right? So for that reason, C tier. Sorry. I know I'm gonna hurt some feelings there, but anyway, kidney beans. I would put them similar to chickpeas, but the thing is, I think they're a little bit higher in fiber usually, not as high in protein as lentils and chickpeas. I'm not trying to contradict myself and saying, oh, protein's not helpful, but you know, it's a bonus with chickpeas. I think they're a bit bitter than sort of like chili beans, but they're not bad. They're not bad. They're also pretty cheap, but if you're gonna go with one or the other, I would say chickpeas or lentils. Milk. It's versatile. I mean, I say versatile. You can have like a glass of milk with anything and bump up the calories. It's got some good stuff in there. A lot of micronutrients in low quantities. Got some protein in there. Just a bit all around sort of good stuff you can throw in your diet. So I want to put that in B tier. It's not too expensive, and you know, throw it in the oats or like a shake. Here we go. We got the milk with the peanut butter, the oats. You can build something nice there. Berries. I mean, they're not that high in calorie. They're quite expensive. They do have some good antioxidants which help with managing inflammation. They'll make you feel better, probably, but it's just expensive if you're gonna buy like 500 calories worth of these, even if they're in season. I would say regular fruits like bananas are a little bit better, particularly because a lot of the stuff here isn't that sweet, and something that can be helpful with bulking is if you switch up sort of flavors. You go sweet, savory, and maybe salty, you know, switch it up. This is called palate fatigue, so you don't want to be eating the same thing for too long, otherwise you'll get sick of it, you'll fill up. So if you're like choking down, I don't know, a bowl of, what do we got, mince and chickpeas and rice, you know, maybe have a banana and then get back into it, you know. And for bananas, I'm just saying most kind of general fruits. Actually, I don't know. We'll say bananas, because I think bananas are a bit easier to eat more of than, say, apples. Cheese. The thing is, if you like cheese, you can actually eat a lot of it, but that's very dependent on that. I remember this one time I was eating like a block of, like this mild tasting cheese, but I don't really recommend it. I kind of got all flushed. Maybe that was from the saturated fat, I'm not sure. Not proud of it. Anyway, C tier. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you like cheese, it could be higher. Actually, we'll throw a B tier. I mean, you can put it on a lot of things. Don't eat it out the block. Okay, whole grains. Again, we don't really need fiber or micronutrients because we're probably getting it from somewhere here. And whole grains are going to fill you up a lot more than they would, say, rice or oats. Oats also have fiber, but they're not as filling. So whole grains, I'm going to put in D tier. I mean, they're not bad. It's just if you're struggling to eat more, I'd probably sub these out. Eggs are pretty good. Particularly if you eat the yolk, I think you can get down a good amount without feeling too full. I think the prices can vary, but we'll throw it in B tier. You can even throw it in that shake we're building as well. Cottage cheese. I think this is a bit more versatile than regular cheese, so I'm actually going to sub these out because a lot of people want to have something that's easy to eat, and you can sort of build like some bowl that's like usually wet and soft. It sounds weird. It's just easy to get down compared to something that's hard and dry. It sounds wrong again, but you know what I mean. Because you don't have to lubricate the food if it's already something like cottage cheese. You know, like your salivary glands are struggling if you're trying to choke down. Like here we have regular candy, and I feel horrible as a nutritionist putting this above things like broccoli. But in this context, I will. Again, I'm putting it low just because you don't want to base your bulk entirely off of candy, but a little bit before training won't hurt, or a little bit maybe after a meal. If you're in good health, I'm not too afraid of a bit of sugar. Okay, I didn't mean to include fries here. Sorry, can I delete this now? I meant to have rice cakes, and I wanted to include rice cakes because this is probably the worst thing. Like, it's low calorie, it's still, like, you have to buy it. Why? I mean, you could slather it in peanut butter, but other than that, it's like these things are so low calorie and they're not really adding any protein or micronutrients. Yeah. Anyway, that's my tier list. Again, this is quite personal. If some things you can eat a lot of and you love, like bulking, it relies on you actually liking the food because you have to eat so much of it. So if you despise peanut butter, don't eat it. If you love cheese, go ahead, man. It's up to you. Anyway, let me know what you think. Your opinions are welcome. I'll see you next time.